So I wanted to do something a little different for you guys tonight. And tonight, I'm going to keep it short. That's my goal always with you guys. But tonight, I want to keep it short. And I want to talk about last week a little bit because last week was kind of an eye opener for me when I lost my pet. And for me, it was a very emotional week. And you're going to have times in your life where life's going to smack you in the face, and you're going to have times where you're tired. You're going to have times where you're going through hard times, maybe with your spouse, or maybe you have an illness in the family, maybe you have a death in the family, or God forbid, the death of a pet or anything like this, right? There's going to be times where these moments hit you, but my goal for you tonight is to not end up where how I kind of felt last week. And so I'm just going to kind of be open and honest with you guys. I'm always 100 with you, but last week was different for me because it was an eye opener in the aspect of, Amber, you haven't been resting. And when I was so emotional having to say goodbye to that cat, and it may sound really silly to you, but I had a hard time unplugging. I had a hard time putting down the phone. I had a hard time being able to rest. I was constantly checking my phone. I was thinking about all the things that I wasn't doing, and I was not present in that moment, if that makes sense. It was harder for me to be present in that moment because I was worried about you guys. I was worried about being there for you and supporting you in whatever you're going through over those 2 or 3 days. I was worried about the content I wasn't putting out. I was worried about the Zooms I wasn't hopping on. I was worried about all these things. And I felt overwhelmed. I felt almost to the point where I contemplated like being inauthentic a little bit because I have grown in discipline. I have grown in preparing ahead of time and planning and batching content and batching reels. You guys know I was on a kick of reels. I was like on 60 something days straight of reels, and that was driving me crazy that I was just like knocked down a little bit. And I couldn't just like come up with a funny reel. I couldn't just like be like this inspirational person on your timeline because I was really sad. And I could have posted things that I had batched 100%. I could have posted a reel that I had batched that was funny, or that talked about leadership, or that talked about the business or the products. I could have put up a post that I had prepared for the next week. But if you would have looked at my stories and you would have seen what I was actually going through, you would have been like, wait a minute. Like, that's not accurate, right? How can you be this person on social media, but like you're actually going through the death of a pet, right? And so I came to this moment where I was like, you know what, Amber, let it go. I was like, just let it go. It is what it is in this moment. And you cannot work your business checking off a to-do list. And there's going to be moments where you really want to check off that to-do list. And maybe you've been pushing yourself, and maybe you've been challenging yourself, and you're on a roll and the momentum is going, and then something happens and you're just like having a really bad day. I've always told you guys it's okay to put it down and pick it back up tomorrow. But what I want you to get away from this message, from this call tonight, is that I want you to take away the lesson of self-awareness. And the reason why I called this like duplication, like let's talk about duplication, is because when you think about self-awareness in your business, it goes two ways. Okay. I want you to think about what you aren't doing and what you are doing. And what I mean by that is we say all the time, right? Like, would you hire you? Would you recruit you? Would you sign you up if you're not posting your products on your stories, or you're not sharing how this business or how these products have changed your life? Would you recruit you if you weren't talking about where you're going and where you came from. Or if you just showed up and you were like boomerang of capsules, Pinterest quote, done for the day, what aren't you doing? We say that all the time. Like if you can't authentically show up for your business and share the real, the raw, why you're here, then you're a robot. You're a robot if you're putting up boomerangs of your capsules and Pinterest quotes and thinking that that's running your business. I've been there. I've been a robot. And nobody joined my inbox. Nobody for 16 months. Okay. So I want you to think about what you aren't doing, because maybe some of you guys aren't showing up wholeheartedly with your products, with your enthusiasm, with your energy, and how the products actually make you feel on a daily basis, and tweaking it up every now and then on how else you can kind of switch that story so that maybe you can grab her attention by saying it a little bit different of a way. Maybe some of you guys aren't hopping on Zooms. Maybe some of you guys aren't doing the things that you know you need to be doing. Maybe you're adding 3 people to your network when you know you could be adding more. Maybe you haven't gone live in your business and you know that you should go live in your business for your business. So I want you to check yourself. I want you to be self-aware by the end of the night so that you don't delay your business one more day because you're fumbling through. Okay. And so make a list of what you aren't doing and the things that you know you should be doing. Maybe you need to do an opportunity event. Maybe you need to do a live video. Maybe you need to go face to face on your stories and not just put up boomerangs, right? But then I want you to also look on the flip side at what you are doing. And this is where I fell into last week, because I can sit there and say, like, for the past few years in this business, I've been super consistent. I've been super proud of the work that I put in. You never see me not show up. I still show up for my business no matter what's going on. I may not go live, but I still show up for my business. I may not go face to face on my stories if I'm having a really crappy day. It's okay. But I want you to flip that onto what are you doing? And so for me, I had that moment of where I felt overwhelmed because I wasn't doing the things that I was used to doing. I was used to doing a reel every freaking day. I was used to doing face to face on my stories every single day. And then I was left in this really dark place, really, really sad. Eyes are puffy. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how can I go face to face on my stories today? What the heck am I going to talk about? Right. And so I got to this place of all the things that I'm doing, am I duplicatable? Or would the girl that's joining me look at my IPA list and be scared? Right? Would she look at my hour of engagement on social media a day and say, I can't do it? Would she look at me going live at least once a week for my business and say, I can't do it? Face to face on my stories every day, I can't do it. 1 reel per day for 60 something plus days, I can't do it. And so I don't want you to get into a place of your business where you're doing so much that it's not duplicatable, if that makes sense. And so that comes into play in maybe you're posting 9 times a day and you need to focus more on just one quality piece of content, right? Maybe you've got 500 stories and you need to shorten it down to 15 to 20, right? Maybe you're spending too much time in the chats and you're answering everybody else's questions. Maybe you're on post love for a whole hour a day and you're trying to love on everybody else on your team and you're left with nothing at the end because you feel like you've poured and poured and poured and nobody's poured into you, right? Maybe you're consuming self-development again and again and again and again, and you find yourself at 9 p.m. and you haven't run your business. I've been there. I've done that. And so at the end of the day today, when you're looking at self-awareness, look at what you aren't doing and where can you improve? Where can you step up? What's that next step look for you, like for you in your business that has nothing to do with that rank? What's that next goal for you that has nothing to do with your rank. Is it something that you're going to do in your business that helps grow your confidence? Is it learning how to talk about a specific product? Is it learning how to go live? What is it in your business that you're going to do on that list of things that you aren't currently doing that's going to get you closer? It's going to move that needle. That has nothing to do with being 4K, right? And then look at what you are doing and where you're spending your time and where you're spending your energy and where can you better spend it. If you're posting 9 times a day, and we could be focusing on our relationships with the people on our social media and the people that are watching us and the people that are trying to talk to us and build that connection, right? That's time and energy spent in one place when maybe we need to pivot it somewhere else to be able to get that needle moving forward in your business. And so here's what I found whenever I was in that moment. I was just like, you know what? Stop checking off the list, Amber. It's okay that you don't go face to face on your stories. It's okay that you break your 60 something day reel per day streak. Like, what does that matter? Right? Except for that I was teaching myself consistency and I was seeing what I was capable of. That's all for me. Nobody else even knew I was doing that. Right? But I got all wrapped up in my head and I had to have that moment where I was like, you know what? Like, stop trying to check off a list and instead share what you're actually going through. Share. This is when I jumped on my stories and I was like, you know what? Like, it's really hard to rest when you haven't rested because you're always going and going and going and you're pouring into other people and you're learning the next thing for your business so that you can become better, because the cap of your business will always be your leadership, right? The company is only as good as their leader. That I've had to learn the hard way in hospital administration, right? But I found in that rest period, by taking that step back, by telling myself it's okay, by telling myself, let it go and be present in this moment, I learned what it means to rest. I sat with myself in silence. I went to the sauna a lot. I ran in silence a lot. And what I learned is that the DMs are still there, even though you didn't answer them. And the people are still there, even though you haven't talked to them today. And social media is still there. Okay. Everything was still there. You guys were still in the chat. You guys were still encouraging each other. You guys were still leaning on each other because this is the community that we have created together. But what I learned the most is that it's that moment of rest where I was able to kind of renew myself, because I had been going hard in the paint for a really long time. And I have been burning, what did I say? Burning both ends of the stick, right? I've been waking up at 4:44. I've been known to be awake past 11 p.m. Harriet, where are you at? Okay. I'm calling you out, sis, because you do it too. I am always kind of like in my mind, I'm like, okay, but like one more, right? Just one more. Like, I can do one more. And so maybe that's one more connection. Maybe that's one more adding to my network. Maybe that's one more something I can put on my stories to inspire somebody today, right? Maybe it's one more post I can prepare for next week. One more. But what I learned is that if you just sit for a moment and, did you know that if you hold this button down right here, your phone turns off? Did you know that? You can slide it and it turns off, you guys. When's the last time you actually turned your phone off? Ho, called you out, all of us. Like, literally turned off and put it down and go out in nature and walk, go to the gym, go move your body. Tony Robbins, one of the things he says, if you want to change your emotions, you have to change your state. And you change your state by using your body. It's kind of like what I talked about last week on Zoom. is that you don't have emotions, you do emotions. Like if you're happy, you're like on a whole nother level and you're vibing and like you put off this like energy, right? If you're happy and you're feeling good, versus if you're depressed and you're sad and you don't make eye contact with people and you don't want to talk and you're really, really withdrawn and maybe you're hunched over and maybe you're quiet, right? You do emotions. Okay. And so it's okay to unplug. It's okay to turn the phone off. It's okay to leave those messages unread. Literally, don't answer it. Don't answer it unless you're in the mindset to be present with them, answer their questions, be patient with them, give them grace. If you're not in that mindset, don't even. Don't even. Because I guarantee you, you turn that phone off, as hard as it is to rest your brain, to turn the phone off, to go watch a TV show with your husband, to go for a walk out in nature, to go to the gym, to sit in the sauna, to be quiet, to be with yourself for a moment, you're going to renew your mind and you're going to have this new inspiration. That's what I kind of had whenever I was unplugging. I was like, you know what? Like, ooh, idea for a live video. Ooh, idea for a training. Ooh, I'm going to do a live video on this too. Oh, post. I got it. And I was like writing down everything. I even had inspiration for things that are like bigger than Lavelle, right? And things I want to do. Will I ever leave Lavelle? No. But things I want to do that are even bigger, right? That have to do with hospital administration and how hospital culture needs to change and how they need better leadership, right? Because that hits home to me. But like I had inspiration for doing bigger, scarier things in that moment of quiet. And so what I want you to do is I want you to, and by no means am I saying like go sit on your ass, okay? By no means am I saying that, because let's keep it real. It's still bonus season. In case you forgot, it's still bonus season. And I think Harriet told me in March, she told me sometimes you run differently when it's bonus season or something like that. Like sometimes you got to go harder in the paint when your goals are at stake. And it's okay that we keep going and we keep going and we keep going and we keep going. I get that. I understand that it's bonus season, but in the back of your mind, what I want you to understand is that you have to be self-aware of what you need and what your business needs for the long haul. Bonus season is here for 6 more weeks, but whenever September 1st comes around, I don't want you being burnt out because you went hard in the paint for your bonus season and you didn't pay attention to what you needed. I don't want you giving up on your business and on your babies and on your goals and on your family because you went hard in the paint and you didn't know how to rest, right? And I don't want to be that leader that is always going hard, going hard, going hard, and showing you guys what it looks like to not rest. I don't want to be that leader because I don't want you guys to be in that place. And so it's okay to unplug. It's okay to turn off the phone. Set your non-negotiables. For me, I'm not getting all wrapped up in everybody's Zoom and everybody's work with me. I do Wednesday night trainings. I'll do Monday nights with you guys, and I'll do one work with me per week. Do you see that list on there? On that graphic? I'll do one per week. I do one per week. And every other day of the week, I show up for me. I show up for me and I pay attention to those people in my inbox. I pay attention to the people that I need to be building relationships with, not stuck on another work with me, not stuck in the post love chat, trying to love on everybody, hoping that they're going to love back on my post, right? Not listening to another thing of self-development, even though God knows I could listen to it all day long, right? And I know that as I grow, you guys grow, but still at some point, you can't let that be your distraction for actually running your business, for actually adding to your network, for actually sitting down and creating content that you want to put out. Does this all make sense? I know a couple of you guys also had some rest periods over the last couple of days. And so before we wrap it up tonight, all I ask is that you be aware of what you need for the long haul, because this isn't an overnight thing. We all know that. Not everybody will be here. That's just the truth. But it's my job as your mentor, as your leader, to be able to give you all the tools so that you do make it the long haul, should you want to make it the long haul. Okay. And so if anybody else unplugged over the last couple of days and you learned something and you want to share it, just unmute yourself. Otherwise, we're going to probably just wrap this up and call it an early night. There's a reason why my hair is wet, because your girl's not staying up late. And I have to start setting those boundaries in my life. And I hope that you guys start to do the same so that you have more joy in your business and you can put more energy into the things that matter for your business. Does that make sense? Okay. I don't want you being all burnt out come September 1st, but I don't want you sitting on your haunches either, because we have 4 figures. We have 4 figures to earn for your family. Some of you guys 5 figures. And bonus season is nowhere near being done. We have 6 weeks.
Let's get it, team.
What'd you say?
I want to say something. I said, let's get it, team. I had to realize too, to unplug, because yes, it's bonus season and I'm gonna do the work, but as Katie tells us, you have to steward your time and your blessings. And if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do 6 days, I should be able to unplug one day and dedicate time to my family and to myself without worrying about making content out of it, right? Like, keep me in the moment, right? Like, I want to live with my eyes wide open, like the song says. And, you know, I thought about the long haul. Like, when I am a 80K leader, when I am a 200K leader, I don't want to feel this way. And if we start a certain way now, that's the way we're going to be then. And I don't want to be a 200K leader burnt out, you know? So I'm like, yeah, I'm a 4K going for 12K, but I have to live in that moment now. And I'm going to take my day of rest, because that's the way I want it then. And like we say, who are you going to be? What type of woman or what type of mindset are you going to have when you get there? You have to start now. So that's the reality that I had to check myself on, because, you know, I go hard in the paint too. I'm like, you know what? Just, you have to, because I don't want someone to look at me and be like, I can't do what you do. Right. And I get that a lot. And it breaks my heart, because it's like, I want you to be you, and we have all the tools, and you make your business the way you want your business to be. But in the end, we do lead each other, right? So we inspire off of each other, and it showed just by you having to take a rest, how a lot of us realized that we need it as well. And that's how much we feed off of each other. So we need to create that culture now as well, to take that rest, to steward our time well, and to just know that even though some of us may have seasons where we're okay with going a little harder, it's also okay to create what you need for yourself in your business, because it is your business in the end.
Absolutely. I'll unmute myself. If anybody else has anything to add, anything that you've learned, Karen, go, girl.
So I heard something the other day. I don't listen to Joe Rogan a lot because he cusses a lot, but he's a very powerful speaker. Like, I don't know how he went from Fear Factor to what he does now, but holy crap. But he said something that struck me. We need each other. Like, talking about, like, as a society, like, everybody's not just isolated during 2020, but everyone isolates themselves. But we need each other, because we need each other to grow off of each other and to learn off of each other, even if we're not on the same journey. And I've kind of switched up my postings a little bit and my lives to be, I'm still talking about my business and my products and all of that, but I'm talking more about showing up for myself. Because every single day I wake up and I'm in my Bible, so I show up for myself spiritually, and I'm getting ready to start a discipleship. I don't have the details on that yet, but I'm so excited about that. And I get up and I'm in a chapter of a book that I'm reading, so I'm showing up for myself mentally, and I'm in a training, so I'm showing up for myself in my business. But with me personally, I can lift the weights, I can do the crunches, I can drop the squats, but it's getting up to do them. So it's showing up to do the thing. I can do the thing, but it's showing up to do the thing. So I've been kind of talking about showing up for myself on that physical level. I'm doing it spiritually and mentally and you know, business wise, but I need to start showing up for my goals, because that's, you know, initially why I had even started thriving in the first place. You got to take it back to where you started. I needed that energy to be active. And I focused more on just getting the energy, and I kind of let it slide about why I kind of wanted that energy so I could eventually lose the weight that I gained. So sometimes you got to take it back to the basics. Exactly. You got to take it back to why you started in the first place. You got to get to ground zero sometimes and show up for yourself. Because when you show up for yourself, it benefits everybody around you. And the labels help. Just throwing out mood support helps.
Oh my gosh, I think all of us are like Black Label fanatics, but I love that in all aspects. Show up to go up, right? In all arenas of life. So, anyways, we're gonna end that at that tonight, and I will see you guys later. Thank you guys.